Well, hello, everybody. Let me welcome you to the Action Required Media platform. This is Let's Talk Liberia. I'm Pastor Archibald J.B. Wallow. I'm happy to be here with Brother Joseph Brown. Well, we are happy to be with you today again, and we are looking forward to having a very interesting discussion. Well, today we will be talking to uh, Honorable Moses Saygbe. We want to talk about some national security concerns in Liberia, but then we also want to tie that in with corruption in Liberia. And so we will be having a very good discussion. Honorable Moses Saygbe is a professional in the security apparatus. He has worked with a lot of uh, officials from the United States government. He is the kind of person that we want to hear from when it comes to our national security. So we are happy that he will be here with us later on in the show. But also, I want to say that there are a lot of things that are happening in Liberia. We are not in no way ignoring the fact that there is this internal struggle in the Liberty Party that has a potential to spill over into the CPP. We might, if time permit, we might dive into that a little bit. But the reason we chose to talk about our national security and corruption in Liberia is because it's just very important. It's so important that we cannot afford not talking about something like that, because we have had this experience from the civil crisis. We don't want Liberia returning back to those dark days. So if there are national security concerns, the best thing we can do is to talk about them. Well, this platform is actually, it was created to get our pastors and bishops and imams, our religious leaders, involved into our national discussion. And so we are always happy to be here to talk about the national issues that are going on in Liberia. And so, because of what we are set to talk about today, I quickly want to read to us a scripture from Psalm 122. I want to commence reading from verse 6. And this is what it says. It says, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within that walls and prosperity within that palaces. For my brethren and companions' sakes, I will now say, peace be within thee. Because of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek thy good." I know we all love Liberia. We love our country. We want the good of our country. Like David, he was asking his brethren to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And today I want to ask Liberians, we have to pray for the peace of Liberia. Liberia is all that we have. The peace of Liberia is very important. In the absence of peace, there cannot be any national development. In the absence of peace, we cannot do anything. Like David encouraging his brethren to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, I want to encourage all Liberians to pray for our country's peace. Liberia and Liberians deserved to live in peace. But remember what he says. He said, peace within that walls. That's what we want to pray for. right? We want to pray that there should be peace in Liberia. There should be genuine peace in Liberia, because peace is very important. Is that important? And so while we think about our country, why we want the good of our country, why we want to see our country, make progress, we cannot neglect or negate the fact that the peace of Liberia and Liberians, both at home and in the diaspora, is very important. And that's why we want to talk about our national security concerns. Our national security concerns. National security is very important. If we want peace in Liberia, we have to talk about the things that threaten our national security. And that's why we are happy to, have joining us later in the show, Honorable Saygbe, who will actually take us into this very important subject, who will be giving us his own analysis about, what we should expect and how we can build on the progress we have made so far. With that being said, I want to bring in my co-host, Brother Joseph Brown, to, Brother Joe, welcome. Welcome to Let's Talk. Thank you for being here. Yeah, the peace of Liberia is very important. We Liberians, we have experienced war in the past. War is not, it's not a strange thing to us anymore, because we have fought war for 14 plus years. And so we want to encourage Liberians to pray for the peace of Liberia.
You know one thing
we can make forward in our country is when we have peace in the country. So we want to encourage Liberians to pray for the peace of Liberia.
you're right, and there's one thing we all Liberians need to do. It's time Liberian we come together, unite for the greatest purpose of Liberia. And this is one of the reasons, and I like what you just said for the entire show, of the purpose of the show. It's time Liberians will start fighting each other and come together and build and develop Liberia. There have been times, let's for example, during the wartime, there was a lot of things that went on. People were devastated. I mean, property destroyed, damaged. People were running around. Refugees all around the world. We have learned so much outside. See other countries develop and how other countries are doing well. It's time we turn back into our own country and use that knowledge, that common knowledge, and build Liberia. So at least we can have a place we call a home. And I can't wait for the show to start so we can start the discussion. We'll talk about national security, corruptions. I just can't wait till we start because I'm ready for it.
I can't wait to have Honorable Saygbe, talk to us about this very important issue. And Bro Joe, you are right. Sometimes we are quick to forget where we came from. We have to give God the glory. We have to, bless God for where He has brought us from. But it is also our responsibility for us to keep, the fragile peace. And there are so many things that could threaten that peace. There are so many things that could hamper the peace we now enjoy today. And that's why it is important for us to talk about, those things that threaten the national security of our country. And also, let us not forget the fact that, according to a lot of statistics and research done about the war, one of the things that people thought that brought the war was corruption. And so we also want to talk about corruption. We also want to talk about, how we all together can fight this public enemy that we call corruption.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna keep my thoughts right now until we have the guest, talk to her about corruption. Then before I can give my input on that. But to be honest with you, Liberia is a very small country, rich with natural resources. The country is easily can be easily developed if we just unite and use the resources wisely. And Liberia, Liberians will not be flying all around the world to seek greener pasture. But until then, we will need that unity, that love among us to be able to develop a nation. Um, it's just so saddening that we forget so quickly, and there are times where people move around from country to country, and it's nothing bad in adapting another culture. Using it for the greater purpose is okay, but if you're grabbing the culture and taking the negative part of it, that's not something we all should be wanting people to do. um I just want to encourage all Liberians. It's time we start criticizing the country. You can do constructive criticism. Okay, you can criticize the country, but be able to give an input. Okay, speak like you want to be. Speak like you want to be a part of a change. Okay, so if you speak positivity, or if you speak constructively to Liberia, then at least other people here say, look, this person is a diehard Liberian. It's
Yeah,
time now, Nigerians, we focus on development. Uh, Most people say, oh, if I had $6 million, I would go to Liberia and start a business and I would develop Liberia. But it's easy to say than to apply.
but
Okay.
bro Joe, now, yes, the thing, right? Two things you said I just want to mention quickly. Number one, about the criticism piece. There's nothing wrong with people criticizing. You
Sure.
know, in fact, if you are mature, you should be able to handle criticism, most especially when you are in a public position. You should be able to handle criticism. There is nothing wrong with that. And then another piece to that also is, Liberians going back home to be able to carry development. Um, Look, nobody going to take their hard-earned money to Liberia if Liberia is not in peace, right? There has to be some level of stability, and there has to be peace, and also the rule of law for people to take their money back to Liberia and fix it, because people want the guarantee of stability. They don't want chaos all the time, you know. And so that's part of why we want to talk about national security. And bro Joe, before you come in, let me say this before you come in. Liberians on the social media love the noise, right? They want the issues, where the people are making the most noise. That's what they want to talk about. Okay, they want to talk about the people that are fighting. They want to talk about people that are not, that are in chaos. Those things make good social media, right? But nobody's talking about the national security threats. Nobody's talking about, the things that will affect us as a country. And those are the things we are actually concerned about. Those are the things we want Liberians to be aware of. Those are the things that we want to bring focus to, because those things are very, very important. But that's what Liberians should have their interest in. We have an election that is coming. Okay. Who can you trust with national security issues? If you don't understand national security, how can you invest your time, evaluating a candidate that can do that? And so today's discussion is very important, and I'm hoping in that we'll have a very good discussion and do it in a way that Liberians of all status can really understand the importance of national security.
That's a good point. That's a pretty good point. And I think people every time when you talk about issues related to Liberia and development and prosperity, people look at, oh, we've been through a civil war for X amount of years, and we always try to give some kind of a statement to kind of justify the means that Liberia is what Liberia is now. But looking forward, that's what we want to do. Let move forward and start thinking and start regressing. Okay, thinking that Liberia is back because of the civil war we had. Now, when it comes to national issues and other topics that we need to talk about, the youth in the country need to be aware of these issues. The young people, the young out of the working force need to be aware of issues so that they can go and meet they can go and meet their leaders, their senators, their representatives, and be able to talk to these guys. But if none of them, I know most of them doing it, but if people are not relating the issues to just representatives and leaders, then it means that the leaders are just sitting there and just making the money and doing nothing. You know, like I said, these guys need to be empowered. These guys need to be aware of things that are happening in the country day to day, how they are being affected. Now, if you look at the economic status of Liberia, you look at they talk about social economic status. They talk about other issues. If a man cannot feed himself, what he's going to do? He's going to be a desperate and an angry man. He's going to go into the society and do whatever he can do to survive, and that's the fact.
Yeah.
If the country don't have programs where they can subsidize or have programs where people who can't afford certain things they can be given certain things, or if they don't create an avenue where the young folks can be able to get jobs and take care of themselves, it's going to be difficult for peace to be there. You always have people armed robbery. You have people breaking the people's houses and killing and stealing and stuff. If a man is hungry, he is going to do anything he's going to do to feed himself.
Of course.
And that's one issue we need to look at. We really need to look at it. And I would say this: the working population of Liberia, we have young guys, young people, young youth that can build that country so fast. But where the jobs, where the money, where the stability, where it's coming from? Most of them turn to the people in the Western world for survival. You send them money every month. You send them money for school fees, to hospital bill, rent, and bed. Look, how long this going to last? How long this is going to last? And that's why people in Liberia, especially the young people, you vote people into offices who are going to make positive change in your life and in the country's growth. You can't vote for somebody because somebody said, "Oh, hey, vote for me. I'll give you two better rice tomorrow," and you voted for a president for 6 years.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic. We need to
Yeah.
rethink and put national issues ahead of our stomach. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. If I can't eat, what am I going to do? You know, people think the easy route. You know, I can't blame them because and one thing I would say, and I always say this, I'm not saying it because I'm here in America. If I was in Liberia, I would have done the same. Honestly speaking, honestly speaking. But let's find a way to see how we all can be aware of the situations and bring solutions to the table that we all can help each other out instead of feeding somebody, then teach them how to fish. You know.
Yeah. Well, you are listening to Let's Talk Liberia. Today we will be talking about national security concerns in Liberia. We'll also be talking about the culture of systemic corruption in our society and how we all together can fight against that. And then also we will dive into a little bit, if time permits, we'll talk a little bit about the internal chaos in the Liberty Party with Senator Abraham Darras Dillon and Chairman Musa Bility. We just, want to make some, input from that front. But today we will have with us Honorable Moses Saygbe, a national security expert. He is a Liberian, but he have had uh, a huge experience in the national security field. He have dealt with a lot of people in the U.S. and other parts of the world. So we just want to, talk to him about the national security implications in Liberia. It's very important as we move towards election years. We want our people to understand the importance of security in Liberia because nobody going to put their investment in a country that is not stable and that is not peaceful. Nobody's going to do that. So there are so many things that we can do. There are so many things that I think he's going to be putting forward that our national leaders can learn from, and together we can move our country forward. Look, one time, Bill Clinton, the former president of the United States, said that you know constant fight, constant political fight might be good politics at a time, but that does not work in the real world. What works in the real world is cooperation. Okay? We have to cooperate. We have to work together. We have to come together as a people for us to move our country forward. And one of the ways of doing that is for us to discuss these very important issues. Because honestly, there are a lot of Liberians because of where they found themselves. Brother Joe was talking about because of economic issues. They don't they don't come on social media to hear these things. They don't have any opinion, or they are not informed about the importance of national security, or the importance of security even in their own communities. They are not concerned about that. They are concerned about how they can put food on the table for their families. That is their primary concern right now. But these are very important issues because if we are not in peace, there is nothing we can do.
You know,
And we have the Civil War, to teach us that lesson. Go ahead, Roger.
you know, you're making a good point. I just want to stress out something. You mentioned that the election is coming like real soon, and that's why I want to say to the people, especially the youth, uh, it is time now. You can use your power, invest it in you. That's your power, okay? To elect, okay, who you think can develop that country and give you the best interest, okay, and give the country the best interest they can. But do not do it selfishly. Do not do it because you are related to this person, but do it based on the national issues. Do it based on the things that you will develop from, that you will learn from, that your family will better from, and all Liberians will be able to live in a country peacefully. I understand it's difficult to be hungry, and then somebody try to talk to you about issues, national issue, and this. All you think about is where am I going to get my meal from today? What am I going to eat? And that's true. That's true. If I'm hungry, you tell me something, I'm not going to listen to you until I'm filled. And that is true. We understand. We get it. We do get it. But remember, you will need something tangible to be able to feed yourself throughout. Okay, we're talking about issues. We're talking about your leaderships. You don't want to put somebody into power for 6 years, 12 years, and you only see them twice. They only come and see you during the campaign time, and they give you back a rice and t-shirt. It's not okay. Their family is stable. They're feeding their wives and kids. Their kids are going to good schools. They're driving a nice car. But you are the one in the marketplaces. You are the one pushing the wheelbarrows. You are the one selling candles and waters on the side of the road. Your babies are selling water water on the hair with color and peanuts in it. Think twice. Think twice. Don't let those guys come and use grammar on you guys and then you fall for it. Please, Liberians, I'm appealing to you. It's time we need to learn and pass our stomach. Look at the future. Look at the future. Let's do this for the country development. The next time we're going to vote, please think twice. National issues. Think about your family. Think about stability. Think about your children education. Ask your leaders. Ask your representative. Your kids go to better school. Where do kids go? Government school? They go to other schools that unfinished buildings. I can't even afford their tuition. Ask them. You put them in power. You can do it. Put the right people in power, and you will benefit. And all Liberians will benefit.
And I think that should be the focus, right? That when the country does well, everybody does well.
Yeah.
If you are just looking forward to get something from somebody for the time being, they will give you the money, you will spend it, it will be gone. They give you the rice, you will eat it, it will be gone. But your communities will still remain the same.
Yep.
The country will still remain the same. There will be no change.
Yep.
This time, it has to be on the issues. And Bro Joe, as we move forward to the election time, we will have time for us to talk about each of these issues, because I think the issues that voters might look at in the next election might varies from voters to voter, right?
That's true.
Some people might go for a candidate because they think that candidate might do well with the economy. Others might go for a particular candidate because they think that candidate can unite the country.
Yes.
Others might go for another candidate because they think that candidate can do a better job on infrastructure development or national security. People might gravitate towards a particular candidate for so many reasons, and that's why we will take our time for us to talk about each of these issues, how important they are. But and as we get set to talk to Honorable Saygbe, one of the things that I think is important for Liberians to think about in regards to national security is Liberia safer better now than 2 or 3 years ago? Can you say Liberia is a safe place now than it used to be 3 or 4 years ago? And we appreciate your response. If you are in Liberia, let us know that what you think about this question. And that's exactly what we want to talk about today.
What it might vary from person to person, depending on your locality. People who live in a better residential area will say, yeah, it's peaceful. But people who live somewhere in the ghetto or close to a slum will say it's not okay. Okay, so you're gonna have varieties of different explanation of what is safe. What you mean by safe? Others might say, well, the country has a government. We have a national army. We have the police. So, and these guys are working, and we're doing better. But when you come, I don't know the crime rates in Liberia, but when it comes to other stuff, and like I said, and this is something that we will keep talking about, and if the churches can get involved, organizations can get involved, we all can get involved, and do something that will put, that will strengthen the financial aspect or financial pocket of somebody to do better and to leave the slum or to leave being, an armed rebel or something like that. That would be good. But my thing is we shouldn't always criticize these people who tend to do wrong. Okay, they are most of them are good people, but because situation make them do the wrong thing. Okay, we should be able to give them a second chance. We should be able to talk to them and not bash them for the wrongdoing. Let's get the side of the story. Hey, why are you stealing? What's happening? What's wrong? How can we help? But Liberians were quick to put people on the spot, like, man, you stole my cell phone, man, move from here, man. You're home from that still broke in your family. But the way we approach these things gotta be more of a professional level to be able to get the guys to come out so they can explain themselves why they're doing this. And if we can afford, to help, let's do it. If we can do that individually, let's do it. If we can do it collectively, let us do it. You know, um, and there are a lot of schools in Liberia. There are a lot of technical schools, trade schools. These guys can go too. But how can somebody who haven't been in school for 15, 20 years, who never been in school for their life, and you want to put them back into school to write, it's going to be hard. Even the trade and stuff like that, they can go and learn trade and do other stuff. We can better help these people. I don't think we should, especially for these guys who are doing wrong, I don't think we should criticize them. They are our brothers, they are our sisters. We should be able to understand their pain. We need to understand where they're coming from. And one thing I want to say, I know our guest should be coming on anytime from now. I think he popped up a little bit and then he went off again. Um, Liberia, the the country is too. The population of the country is, about 5 million plus people, and I think we have a big size government. We don't need a big size government. I think we need to cut down some of the government offices. Like you having two senators, you having all these other guys, all the district representatives stuff. Some of the stuff need to be cut down so the funds can be redirected to programs that would benefit people who need it the most.
Well, you
Need it
think
most.
big government is the issue. Now, one of the things that you need to understand,
I'm
Joe.
just saying it's one of the issues. I'm just saying in the case of Liberia right now, I think that's what I'm thinking. We don't need a big size government.
Yeah, so that might work with a strong private sector that employs people. Right now, you don't have a strong private sector, so government have to exalt a lot. In Liberia, government is the highest employer.
Yeah, they are, but
If you will
85%,
downsize, where are
85%,
you sending those people? That's
85% of
one thing. But I agree. I agree with
no,
you.
what I'm
You
saying,
know,
I'm not talking about those employees and this. I'm talking about those representatives and government officials. I'm not talking about those that are working in, people that work in the office and stuff like that. But if you have you have a senior senator and a junior senator, and you have representatives for every district. You have 5 or 6 representatives. One. I just think it's just too much. That money, that income, that money can be. You can transfer that money into programs that will benefit Liberians.
yeah, I don't think it's too much. I don't have it on top of my head right now, but uh I think there is a particular ratio of the population that's supposed to be entitled to a representative. Let me give for example, one second. Montserrat is not the biggest county, but Montserrat is the most populated county.
Yes.
That's why Montserrat has about 17 districts because of the population. And bro Joe, research have shown that people are best governed when they are in smaller size. Okay, so I don't think the amount of districts we have now, I don't think it's too much. We just need to make a better use of our legislators.
You, And I would disagree with that. I mean, I
Okay.
understand that's that's your opinion on that, but I will have a different look on that. Okay, uh, with all that district stuff, we can cut it down. We can minimize it. If we taking uh, uh let's for example, you're paying those representatives of a district. You have 17. Let's for example, 17 representatives in one county, and you calculate the amount of money that's going to there every month. Yet and still, you be complaining of how people can be governed because the instrument of size. I would say to you, hey, we can downsize the amount of districts, or we can keep the districts, or yeah, downsize the amount of districts, and then that funds can be put into programs. How can you govern? Okay, that's for example. You have 17 districts, 70 representatives. Now, District A is doing fine. Okay, but there's no development going into District A. He has a representative. Okay, no development is going on. If he just buying somebody water and stuff to have, I think that's to be honest with you. I think we have a big government. We need to downsize the government and redirect the funds to other programs that will help people. Now, take a look at example. I I know we have a social security program in Liberia. I don't know what benefits for it or not, but let's say for example, take into consideration if somebody can, if you want to use the Western wall way of governing, then don't use part of it that would benefit just the leaders. Okay, use everything that would benefit the entire country as a whole. Okay, so now you create your district to have a representative, so the representative get paid more to control the people. That's fine, but you should also have programs that will benefit the people in a district. You get me? So,
I'm following
so,
you. I don't
so
know what I.
you have a marketeer. Okay, this lady she have 5 children. Okay, she sell water, pepper, and all the stuff to survive in the market. She got 5 children. How can she afford to send her 5 kids to school and even feed them? Now the government had to come in and say, look, all right, tuitions, uh, tuition gonna be free. Are we gonna give you a full stamp? I just say something now. Are we going to afford you this to help out with the big size family you have? But don't take one part of it to benefit just the leaders, or you don't take the entire package to benefit the entire country. I think that's why I'm against bigger government for just the leaders. We need a bigger government for the bigger population. Do it that way. Everybody is feeling better. We want to do good.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me again. One second, I guess it's calling. Let me see what's going on.
Yeah. And so if you are listening and if you're going to be watching this show like later on, this is Asha Required Media, and our purpose is to unite Liberian organization around the world. We also spread the gospel. We spread the good news. We spread the gospel every Saturday and Sunday, and we also do a comedy section. Um, the main purpose is we try to make our Liberians brothers and sisters aware of the things, issues happening in Liberia and around the world. So it is important for all Liberians to unite, all Liberians to come together so we can build Liberia. Liberia is a beautiful country that can be built easily. We have all the natural resources in Liberia, and especially to all those Liberians who have traveled around the world, got the education. You have Liberians with PhD, doctors, and all the stuff. We can come back to Liberia and develop Liberia. And it's not Liberia. We need to come together just for the greatest good of Liberia that we all can build Mama Liberia tomorrow and make it something and make it a better place for every one of us to be. You know, I think every Liberian has a role in Liberia's development. Whatever you do financially, helping your parents, your friend in Liberia, you are you are contributing to our success in Liberia. And we just want to say continue doing the best you can. But if you can do more, if we can get involved into into the aspect of the government, into the development of Liberia, we all should, because we have a place. We came from somewhere. Mama Liberia gave birth to us. I wouldn't be here in America if I wasn't born in Liberia. I'm a Liberian, I'm a proud Liberian, and I'll always be proud to be a Liberian. Okay, I came from Liberia, and I'll say this again: Liberians in the diaspora, please, it's time. And Liberians in Liberia, it's time we all can come together for just one common good. We can do it. We can make it happen. Please let leave this selfishness. Let leave our ego aside and look at Mama Liberia. You know. So like I said,
Roger, what we try to get our guest to come on, he's having some difficulties with logging on. So I'm trying to you know just talk to him about the steps of logging on. He's trying to
okay,
figure it out.
that's fine.
But let's. I want us to move on to something else until we get our guest to log on. People for the past week and a half now, a lot of people have been talking about this thing that is going on within the Liberty Party, most especially what uh, Senator Ibrahim Darras Dillon accused Chairman Musa Bility about. And I want us to look at it, but I want us to look at it from a different perspective, right? I want us
Okay.
to look at it from a different perspective. Recently, Senator Dillon, gave an interview, and he said something that I'm trying to really understand. He said a lot of things, but this was the statement that he made, and I just want to read it. Uh, Not reading it, but just to put it in a perspective. He said that Chairman Bility, altered the Liberty Party constitution with a criminal motive. Okay. He was speaking of his chairman, right? That he changed part of the constitution, the Liberty Party reverse constitution, with a criminal motive. My confusion here is, what is a criminal motive? I mean, what does it mean by
It, it,
he did it with a criminal motive? One second, bro Joe. One second. Even though Senator Dillon is not here, to explain, what he meant by that. But what would be your understanding of a criminal motive if someone was to say to you that, Brother Joe, you did this with a criminal motive? What will you say? Let me talk to our guest. Why you answer that?
you know, one thing people, it's always good to be very mindful of your words, your diction. Um, and what I can say today is, if somebody says somebody use certain things as a criminal motive, I don't know if he's trying to label him as a criminal, um, but I will not use that terminology if I know somebody who we're in a meeting and we discuss certain things, it was agreed upon by that body and somebody did something, some kind of a change in it. I may not use that exact word, but I think he could have done it in a different way to approach. He could have just done it in a way to approach his chairman one on one. Talk to his chairman before coming out and spewing uh, what he said. I think it's a possibility that if somebody said somebody used something as a criminal intent, which means I was just maybe he thought the person was trying to kind of have certain provision within what was already accepted as a body discussion. So he just brought a change into it just to be able to make way for certain things that he might want to do in the future. So because then once it's accepted in that constitution, unknowingly by the body, but because he knows it's in there, he would have done something, that could be a criminal act, but he won't be held liable for it. And that's how I look at it. But I would say Darius Dillon is the best person to explain that. So, like I said, everybody might have a different explanation for this. If he put a special provision in there that he could use in the future to escape being penalized for what he has done, then I think is something people should label as he has a different motive. Unless what he's done or what he's going to do is a criminal stuff, then yes, I will label it as a criminal stuff. But if it has not been done yet, just because he has an intent of putting something, I won't say it's criminal because he hasn't actually done the act that would say it's criminal or not. But people listening out there, man, your words are powerful, and I think we should be very careful how we pick our decisions, because people are gonna be listening, you know. Um, yeah, I was just saying, right? This is how I characterize it, right? Like you just said right before you walk out.
Right.
Arthur is the only person who can really explain what he meant. But I would say this: if I was him, I would have been in a better position to use a different word in place of that. But I would just speculate right now. I'll just say this, right? Maybe he said it's criminal intent, okay? Because maybe he
Well, he didn't say criminal intent. He said criminal motive.
Criminal motive. Okay, so I would say this, for example, right? If he put a special provision in the Constitution, right, that he might do something in the future, and when it comes back to him to haunt him, and we won't be penalized for it because it's already been in the Constitution, then that's a motive for doing something that you already plan on that you're going to do in the future, but it's going to be against the Constitution.
Yeah, but Joe,
if it is criminal, then it's going to be criminal intent.
Bro Joe,
Yes.
here's the thing, right? When you follow the story, Chairman Bility is being accused, right? He's being accused here.
Okay.
1 second. Okay, he's been accused that he altered the Constitution, right?
The Liberty Party.
Right, he changed it. Liberty Party, he changed it. But then when you said he did it with a criminal motive is not a crime. Okay, it is a motive. It's like you have a motive to do something, but you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but equally so too, he has the right to call it out. So to be honest
No,
with
no,
you,
no, 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 no. You're not getting the point. You're not getting the point here is they say he committed the act
okay,
already. And so how can that be they say he changed the constitution
okay,
with a criminal motive. What is
okay,
the criminal motive?
but this what I would say, right? From looking at Darius DeLong point of view,
But
okay.
I want you to understand though.
I mean,
One
I
second,
understand what you're
I
saying.
want you to understand the thing.
I
He
understand.
said he changed the constitution with a criminal motive. Okay, so what is the criminal? In other words, he changed the constitution for him to perpetrate a crime.
Yes,
Okay, that's why he's
let's say this,
saying.
right? Let's
But
say this.
if what would that crime be?
But
What
listen,
would that crime be?
but listen to this, right? You and I don't know the provision in there, okay? The provision he said got inserted into the Constitution. We don't know. So now, if the party met and make amendment to the Constitution, right, and then a single person take additional provision and put it in there without the body knowing, that could be he done it selfishly, or maybe he has an intent or a motive that he wants to do something in the near future. But when it comes back to haunt him, he will say it's already in the Constitution. So now that motive could be a criminal, it could be of a criminal or something different. But because he has not enacted on the provision that will cover him up, I would say it is. But I think he using it. He put in a higher stuff on it to make it seem that okay, this guy has a criminal intent to 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 manipulate the constitution that he may get out a free pass when it comes to money. But this is what I would say. This is what I would do personally. Okay, if I was in a party, right, and if I have known that uh, Mr. Bility went and did that, I would have gone to him personally and said, "Look, dude, Mr. Chairman, you can't do this. Okay, we will have to bring the constitution back again and discuss it and have this seal. And once it's agreed upon, it's going to be our constitution. But whatever provision you put in there will be brought back to the body that will discuss the provision, and you're going to explain to us why you insert a special provision in the constitution."
But here is it though. Here is it. Okay. When you say that someone did something with a criminal motive, it means that the crime has not been committed yet.
That's true. You're sure right. It has not.
Okay. It means that he is thinking of committing a crime.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
But at the same time, you are saying that he changed the constitution. Now, the question that comes to mind, though, Bro Joe, is if Chairman Bility changed this constitution, he changed the constitution in whose favor? He changed the constitution to benefit who? Because if the Liberty Party people came together, right, to reverse the constitution, there is no way that Chairman Bility is going to change a constitution that they don't know about. Okay, it can hide because the thing is public document. You have to submit it to NEC.
Yeah, but listen though. But listen, it could be. It's a possible that somebody can slide in a special provision in there. We don't know. I'm not. Look, I can't say it's true that Darius DeLong saw the provision. Maybe Darius DeLong did see it. Okay, and he heard he wants to talk about it. But I'm saying there could be a possibility that we can sit here and discuss our constitution. After doing the discussion and making some amendments, that amendment's going to be typed up. Everything going to be typed up and then be submitted, you know, to the body as a whole. So maybe during the time he was doing what he was doing, he slide in the provision. And if he did, to me, it's wrong. You can't do if he did, right? That's a wrong thing to do. And to call a criminal, maybe Mr. DeLong has seen something in it that makes it criminal for him to say it's a criminal motive.
Okay, so now let me give you the definition of a motive, right? It says here, a motive is an idea, a belief, or emotion that impels a person to act in accordance with that state of mind.
Yes.
It's a state of mind, right?
Yep.
Now, Senator Dillon says that what Chairman Bility did to alter the constitution of the Liberty Party, he did it with a criminal motive, right? But in a same statement, he said that, you know, with the FIFA thing that was going on with Chairman Bility, where FIFA had problem with him on integrity issues, they never believe it. Okay, they never believed it. They wanted to give him the opportunity for him to prove himself. But in his statement, he said that with the Constitution, the provision that were altered, Chairman Bility did it with a criminal motive. He did not state what was that criminal motive, because as far as we are concerned, Chairman Bility have not been, convicted. He had not been convicted in the court of law. Okay, they are just assuming that he did something, and they have not really come up with what he has done. Roger, I guess my thing is this, right? Jesus himself said it in Mark chapter 3, verse 20. He says, "A house that fight against itself cannot stand."
That's true.
You know, you are talking about your chairman. You are one of the well-known senator, not just in Liberty Party, but in Liberia. Okay, you are talking about your chairman in this context. And he is the one that's supposed to represent your party, besides your political leader, to other stakeholders. You are saying about your chairman that he has integrity issues. He altered your constitution with a criminal motive. In other words, he is a criminal. Okay. You are saying all of this about your chairman, and then you want the Liberian people to accept your party with a chairman that is a criminal from you yourself, from what you yourself said.
I mean, like I said again, and that's his explanation, and he decided to choose his station the way he wanted to. And I said, if I was, you know, if I was in the shoe, I wouldn't have used that word. Okay, I would have used it carefully because it's going to come back and haunt you and haunt your party. I don't know if uh, you know Mr. DeLong talked to his chairman privately before airing his grievances, airing this out, in public. Uh, if he did, then he respond now. I think it's just too harsh, but he could have done it better. Okay, he got on it better, organized his same, leaders in the party, go back to a meeting, call a meeting, and ask Mr. ask the chairman his, why he did that, what the reason, and then let the provision be made known
Well,
to all
the
the
chairman,
members.
the chairman denies the allegation. Okay, the chairman denies the allegation, and besides that, Brojo, the political leader filed a complaint with the National Election Commissions.
Mhm.
Election Commissions sent her back to go and do internal investigation to resolve it eternally. And the National Election Commission still retained the copy of the Constitution that Chairman Bility submitted as legitimate copy. You understand what I'm
So,
saying?
but
Now,
when was that change made to the constitution?
but the point here, the point I'm making, Brojo, is this, right? For the sake of the conversation, let's say everything they say about Chairman Bility is true. Let's say that's, everything they say is true. Why would you not do it internally? Why would you have to bring it in the public? He is your chairman. You're not changing him. He's going to be the chairman for your party for the next six years. You describe him in the way you describe him to the public. You will want the public to deal with your chairman in a serious way when he is when he is uh when he is as you call it, a criminal, and then he is corrupt, he is a BM. You describe him in all of these terms. You want the public to deal with him in a serious way. Bro Joe, in addition to that, this is one of the things that trouble me. Now, just listen to this. This is one of the things that trouble me with this interview that Senator Dillon had. This is one of the things that troubles me. In that same interview, he did mention about the founding father of Liberty Party, the late Councillor Charles Walker Brumskin. Look, to be honest with you, right? Councillor Brumskin, the late Councillor Brumskin, we're trying to get our guest on, and he's having hard time. So let me just talk to him real quick.
All right. So, I mean, all I can say to this issue when it comes to all I can say to this, I don't know the style of I don't know the rebuttal that Mr. Billy came out with, but you don't want you don't want a party, the chairman, and then one of the senators or one of the members in the party go at it, especially with the media and other stuff. I think this can be resolved. This can be resolved. I think Mr. DeLong um, should have done it differently. Should have done it differently. But other people might see DeLong as being truthful and being transparent with what happened in his party and enlightening the Liberian people of what has transpired in the party. And he's not going to do any cover up. So he rather speak it out. People might look at it differently. Okay. Others might say, oh, he trying to undermine the chairman, or he trying to ruin the chairman repetition. Okay. Um, so, like I said, everybody, most people might look at this differently. Some might say, well, I seen Mr. DeLong to be transparent and he's open to Liberian people and telling Liberian people what is transpiring in his Party, and that is being truthful to we Liberians. People must see that. Other people must see him as one who is trying to undermine the chairman uh, role in the party, or he just trying to ruin the chairman uh, reputation. And
Yeah,
get
but Joe,
look at
transparency to me would be for you to confront the issue in the private first, right?
that's yeah.
The scripture says when your brother offends you, what you should do? Confront him first. If he
Yeah.
doesn't listen, you take somebody with you to to talk to him. Now there are processes in their constitution that's supposed to be followed, but none of that will follow. But let me just go back to what as I was saying, what really is troubling me.
It's just it's yeah. So as I was saying, people look at it differently, and people may support. The supporter of Mr. Dillon will always support him, and they will see it as somebody being transparent, somebody being outspoken, somebody is not willing to hide the cover-ups of his member or his political party. They might look at that, and others might say, "Oh, Mr. Dillon is just undermining this guy because of his position as a chairman of the Liberty Party." Okay, or Mr. Dillon want to put himself out there as being the preferred person in the party. Everyone's gonna have their own different explanation of what happened, but and you won't stop, and there's nothing you can do with somebody else's opinion. That's their opinion. That's what they believe, and that's how they see their leader. You know, but like I said, if you look at it on a professional level, I think what he did was wrong, and he could have said it in a better way than using those vocabularies and
Yeah.
dictions going in.
Joe,
That
let me apologize for the back and forth. We are trying to get our guest on. He's having a problem with locking on, and he can still figure it out. And time is fast spent. So I suggested to him that we can have him on next week Saturday,
that's fine.
by the grace of God, because he's still not figuring out. So we'll try to figure out with him for us to have him on next Saturday. But not to cut you off. So we want to apologize to everybody for for that. But we will have Honorable Moses Saygbe next Saturday for us to talk about the national security implications in Liberia, and then the culture of systemic corruption, and how we can move our country forward. So Joe, to just come back quickly to this issue. This is one of my major concerns. Uh, one of my major concerns, right?
Mhm.
Senator Dillon mentioned his former political leader, the late Councillor Charles Walker Brumskin, uh, in a same interview. And before I tell you what he said, let me just tell you something about Councillor Brumskin, the late Councillor Brumskin. The late Councillor Brumskin, when he was getting ready to run in 2005, right? There was an election that's supposed to have been held prior with he and Charles Taylor. But 2005, when he got ready to run, Councillor Brumskin was the first politician in my lifetime that encouraged church leaders to get involved in politics. Councillor Brumskin would, literally have a tirade almost every night at his house, talking to religious leaders. Get involved in your community. If you can run in your district, run in your district. We need better people in our government for us to have a better government. Councillor Brumskin was a man of integrity. He was. This Man, this political leader was the first in my lifetime that drew pastor to himself, that were getting advice from religious leaders, and they would spend time with him. Because I knew 3 of my friends that went to the late Councillor Brumskin's place to have tarry every Friday. In his pursuit for the highest office in the land, he put God before himself. So I respected him for his principles and for his integrity. This was the man that Senator DeLong cited in his interview why he accused his party chairman. And this is what he said that troubled me. He said the 2017 election, Councillor Brumskin made Chairman Bility the face of his campaign. Chairman Bility was the CEO of that campaign, made him the face of the campaign. You know, Roger, when I think about that and I listen to Senator DeLong talk, one of the things that comes to mind is this. The man that I knew Charles Walker Brumskin to be, the man that I knew him to be, and looking at the fact that he tapped Chairman Bility to be the face of his campaign, the man that operated with principles and with integrity. He was not ashamed to associate himself with Musa Bility, made him the face of the 2017 campaign. What could have Charles Brumskin done with this Musa Bility issue? The man that they all look up to, the man that they consider to be the father of their party, what he could have done. The very same Chairman Bility that you are disgracing in public today, your political leader, the founding father of the Liberty Party, was not ashamed to associate himself with this man. Today, you are saying he's a fraudster, he's a criminal, he's a BM, you are using all of these adjectives on him. How do you expect well-minded people to deal with your chairman when you describe it in these terms? I mean, it just baffles me, because mature people don't behave that way. I respect Senator DeLong a lot, but mature people don't behave that way. You resolve your issues, because, Roger, regardless of whatever you do, I believe in the word of God. The Bible says a house that fights against itself cannot stand. Are you trying to destroy your house? Are you trying to destroy the party in the name of Musa Hassan Bility changing the constitution? Is that what you are trying? What is the objective here? You can stand up to somebody, but you can do it internally. Putting this stuff out there, whose interest does it serve? Whose interest?
Hey, you make a point. Like I said, and I will say this again. We different from people, different from person to person. Okay, maybe he's saying that as me being the one in the party that can say the truth or say what it is or what has transpired in the party. Maybe he has a different understanding of what he did, and that I would say I don't know of. But like you said rightly, nobody in the right mind or no letter person who listen to that and say it's okay. But other people in the party or other people that are listening especially his supporters and other stuff, will see him as a true man or somebody who will not hide anything that transpired in his party or cover it up for anybody. Okay. But and like you said rightly, I'm just saying, other people look at it differently. Other people will take it
Yeah,
differently.
I know.
But it's always good.
I understand where you're coming from, bro, Joe. I understand where you're coming from, but
Yeah,
for this, for this, for this one,
yeah,
for this one,
yeah.
it can be that you are doing it for people to see you as a truth teller, because honestly, what you are doing is you are fighting against yourself. Now, let me ask you something, right? Think about it this way. If the ruling establishment, right, was to say these things about his party chairman, what would he say? What would be his defense? He can't defend Musa. He can't defend Chairman Bility. He can't do that, right?
Yeah,
But listen though, listen. He can't defend that.
you know,
And because that, I refuse to accept that Senator Dillon is saying, even though he said Chairman Bility provided logistics for Liberty Party in the 2017 elections, I can't accept to believe that he is saying because of the logistics that Chairman Bility provided, that's why Councillor Brumskin made him the face of the campaign. I can't accept that. No, that's what he is trying to say, and it just hard to believe that
sometimes,
that Senator DeLong going to say those kind of stuff.
sometimes it's always okay, right? When somebody make the kind of a statement, ask the person a hypothetical question using themselves. Will you say that if it would have been you, you think the chairman would have said that in your exact words to you? But sometimes interviewers and people who ask the leaders questions should always put themselves in a position to ask hypothetical questions. Like I said,
I would appreciate the opportunity for Senator DeLong to come here, and answer some of these questions, because I have a lot of things going on in my head. Okay, with the kind of person I have admired him to be, for me to hear him give that kind of interview about his party and his party's chairman.
so
Look, sometimes, bro Joe, you have to choose your battles. Not every
yeah,
battle is worth fighting.
that's true.
You have to choose your battle. But more especially when you cite your funding father in the process of you making an allegation against someone he associated himself with. That that is an indictment on yourself.
But maybe it's an ongoing thing between the both of them. Maybe there's something that is maybe something is internal. Because if he's going to talk about his uh, party funder and relating the issue to this same man, maybe there's something internal that he wants to say, but he's not saying it the way he wants to say it. Maybe he's just trying to, I don't want to say disgrace him, but I don't know whatever word to use. But what he did, I think, and I was saying it was the wrong way to approach the issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, people who are smart enough not to look at the party as a party of chaos. We can have differences in a party. Okay. Your idea may not be the idea that I like in a party, but we will crash. We'll clash. But if we come out to something, let's support the main cause of it. But I will not come out here and speak negativity of a person. We're not in the same party together. But like I said again, and I will say this: I don't know the rebuttal of Mr. Bility. I don't know what he has already said based on this interview. Um, maybe maybe he will come out to come out with a statement. And if it does come out, I think he should be more of a mentor person to handle the issue, answer the questions. Don't if he did make a provision in there, let him be honest, honest to the people and say, look, yes, I did make a provision, but he didn't. Then he should say, I did not.
You
But
think you think you you
should
think
he
he owes Chairman Bility an apology?
I would say he does. He owes him and the party apology. I
Well,
think
but
he
you
should.
know
I
what?
think he should do
The
that.
way he see it, I mean, counting from the interview that I watched so far, the way he sees it is like he's doing the party a
Okay,
favor, but
but
publicly bringing Chairman Bility to shame. He thinks he is doing his party a favor. And I don't think he's doing a party a favor. I think that's an indictment on his entire party, including
yeah, he raising
his
eyebrows
former
on his party.
political leader.
He raised a lot of eyebrows on his party, and maybe he just want to be out there. People say, oh yeah, I think DeLong is the best person in the Liberty Party, and he should be the person we take as a chairman. I don't know. I'm just you- look. Come to
And,
think
and
of this,
yeah, and bro Joe, just to put this out there, I I'm not saying this because I want to defend Chairman Bility. I don't know Chairman Bility. Okay, I don't know him, right? But my statement comes from the fact that the Bible says in my chapter 3, verse 22, that a house fight against itself cannot stand. There should be a better way that you can deal with your colleagues, you know, internally. I think this thing
I
could have
agree.
been resolved, in a better way. Okay,
I agree.
we are talking
But
about people. We are talking about people that are in national leadership. These are the people we are talking about. We are not talking about just common people
organizations,
in our
yeah,
society. We are talking about people that are in high positions that make decisions for all every day. You know, and to see things like this happening in the public domain on Facebook, I mean, it concerns me. Honestly, it concerns me because Liberty Party should be one of the party that anybody can and should admire, because the founding father of that party, is highly respected. He was a man of integrity. He was a man of God. He was a child of God. He was. And for people to be, doing things like the most, especially one of the astute senator that we have come to admire to be doing these things, it really concerns me. I think.
but most of the time when people speak of negativity of their own members or people in the party, you have group of people gravitate to watch that. Okay, most people, some people like they love the negativity. They want to be on the news. People want to hear this, and people want to tear somebody apart. And you rightly said it. It wasn't the right approach. It could have been done differently, but sometimes people learn from mistakes. Maybe it's an opportunity for Mr. DeLong to sit back in his own chamber in the closed door and say, "Whoa, what I did was wrong.
Yeah.
Let me get myself back together." Okay, I'm a man. Let me own this. What can I do next? Let me go back in public, apologize to my party, and apologize to Mr. Obi, and move forward and create a room, a clear avenue for a new development and new, transformation of the party. Um, and if a party has a difference, I have many differences to talk about. It should be done internally. You shouldn't have leaks coming out. If leaks coming out, it shouldn't be from the permanent members of the party. It could be maybe somebody who would just people, maybe just say something to somebody and somebody leak it out. But it shouldn't be for a permanent member just saying, things, and especially your words. I can come up here and criticize somebody,
Yeah.
but I'm using my words carefully, that a person might be, may not be put to anger, but if you're using all those kind of terminology on the person, I mean, by the person it's just not right.
Yeah.
Um, and this is the thing though, you are leaders now, okay? You want other people to come and be leaders. You have young people in your party. You don't want to exhibit that attitude or that behavior because once it's not manifested in them, and then you have nowhere to go, then the party is going to be a part of chaos. Because I, if I have a difference with you, I should be able to sit down and talk to you. They have a dialogue, okay? They have a professional dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, again, Bro Joe, I will quote, what former President Bill Clinton said. Constant political fight might be good politics, but it does not work in the real world. And I hope Liberians can look for a leader that can cooperate with other people, work with other people. The constant political fight does not solve any problem.
that's true.
It does not solve any problem. And that is one of the things that we always have to remind ourselves of, that we don't have to fight to disagree. We don't have to disgrace each other in public for us to make a point. Okay, it's okay to disagree, but let's do it in the civil way. Let's do it in the way that is healthy and that is progressive, because we cannot take back the words that we spill out, whatever it is that we say, whether they are truth or not. Most especially when you are a public leader like Senator Dillon, your words should matter. Your words should be calculative, most especially when you are talking about, other people, because what you say, a lot of people are going to believe it, most especially about your chairman and about your former political leader.
Yeah, I mean, leaders should have that integrity. Should be honorable. She you should be very mindful of what you say at times because those words can come back to haunt you, um, and especially on social media. And again, and I would say, uh, let us not use this as a means to divide ourselves, and let not the Liberty Party use this to fight against Mr. DeLong, but to be able to bring him back in an orderly manner so that the party can function in a better way, so that they can be that leader they want to be for Liberia tomorrow. Um, would all make mistakes. To him, all humans will make mistakes. So I think Mr. DeLong made a mistake. I think he should apologize, and I think the Liberty Party, members of the Liberty Party, should not, um, you know, be too harsh on Mr. DeLong. They should find a better means to resolve this issue, and to our Liberians and the supporters out there for Mr. DeLong or for Mr. Bility, let not go, you know, um, being creating a rivalry group out there trying to defend this and defend that. But let's see it on a different level. Let's see it as a means of uniting ourselves and say, look, we all are Liberians. We are all doing this for the same purpose. We may
Yeah.
have different political parties, but
I,
we all have the same
I
objectives.
think I think Senator Dillon is not a victim here. He's not a victim. Um, if we were thinking of who is the victim here, it would be Chairman Bility and the Liberty Party.
That's true.
Senator Dillon is not a victim here. So don't ask for sympathy for him. He needs to do the right thing, because what he did is
I'm
it's
just
an
saying,
indictment on himself.
we
It's not an indictment on Chairman Bility, it's an indictment on himself. Everything he said about Chairman Bility is an indictment on himself. Bro Joe, they say, show me your friends, I will tell you who you are. If Chairman Bility is a chairman of his party and he thinks of him in this manner, then that saying that says, show me your friends, I will tell you who you are.
I think that the party has has their intent of being a winning party. They have their dreams of what they want Liberia to be like, and I think they can achieve their goals if they all work together as a unity, work together in unity, and drive something that we really develop Liberia and make Liberians to come around, and especially those Liberians to vote for them. I think we make mistakes in the Western world. You have a lot of great leaders who make almost the same mistake at times.
I hope he considered that to be a mistake. But we are almost out of time, bro Joe. If there would be final thing you want to say to supporters and partisans of the Liberty Party and everything we just talked about, what would be your final word to them?
My final word to the Liberty Party is that be focused, keep your calm, and understand that your party meant well. Division is not a solution. Unity, togetherness, built. And let this not be a source to discourage you, but let it be a fresh stimulus that you guys can unite and have an intellectual discourse that you guys will hold together strongly, that your supporters and Liberians around the world will see how you handle this situation. And then we admire your party. Be a party of a good leadership. Be a party of togetherness. Be a party of uh, unity support. And this I'm gonna say again to the chairman and Mr. DeLon. You guys need to face this immediately. Come back and face it as soon as possible to be a better leader, so the followers, the supporters, and Liberians can understand that you're a better leader and you are better than this. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. So my final word to the Liberty Party and sympathizers and well-wishers and supporters and partisans of the Liberty Party, the party should always represent the integrity and the character Councillor Brumskin was. You should always think about what will Charles Walker Brumskin do. Because until that party is dissolved and it is no more, Councillor Charles Walker Brumskin will always be remembered. Everywhere that party goes, it goes with his image. It goes with his name. It goes with his character and his integrity. So whatever you do, I want you to always bear in mind that you are representing someone who has been loved and admired, someone who was a principled man. That is the person you are representing. And so you have to be very, very calculative on what you do. If it does not benefit your party, you should know that it does not benefit Liberia. And so, the fighting, it's okay to disagree, but do it internally. We don't want to hear about your fight. We don't want to hear about the stuff that goes on in your party, right? We want you to do it internally because we want you at this time to be mature. So please put your hearts together. Come together. Stop the unnecessary fighting. If something happens, be mature enough to resolve it internally. And if it cannot be resolved internally, then we understand that we have tried. We have gotten other people involved into it, but it just couldn't be resolved. At least you can say we have tried. We have followed all of the processes that have been laid out in the organic document that governs our party. We have done all of that, but we just couldn't reach a solution. Then we understand. But with what that happened recently, it was disgraceful and it should be discouraged. And I am praying that you guys going to learn from that. You're going to learn from that. Because it was not an indictment on Chairman Bility, it was an indictment on the entire Liberty Party, including the late founding father, Councillor Brumskin. So let's do better next time. Let's be better next time. Because you are in the opposition getting ready to take state power. We expect better from you guys. So let's do better. Let me leave you with this. A house that fights against itself cannot stand. If you want to destroy your party, keep doing what you are doing. Keep fighting among yourself. If you are united internally, if you are together internally, if you cooperate internally, the enemies that come from without cannot defeat you, cannot destroy your house. You are the one that's going to destroy your house when you fight against yourself. So choose your battles. Not every battle is worth fighting. And let us do better next time, because Liberia and Liberians are looking up to you. They are looking forward to having a solid and a mature opposition parties. So God bless you. Thank you so much. Roger, on that note, we want to say thank you to everyone that has followed us, that have watched. If you come across our video, we want you to, please like our video. If you can share it, please share it. Again, this platform, Let's Talk Liberia, is our way of reaching out to our religious leaders, our pastors, our bishops, our imams, for them to have their say in our national discussion. So we encourage all of our religious leaders, reach out, let us talk Liberia. Let's talk Liberia. That is the only place that we have. That is where we call home. If we don't make it better, nobody's going to make it better. But our discussions and our interaction going to move something. It's going to achieve something. Not everything that you face changes, but nothing changes until it is faced. And our way of facing the issues that go on in our country is for us to discuss them like the way we do. But we always want to do it providing solutions. We want to apologize that we were not able to get our guests on today to talk about the national security implications in our country and the systemic corruption in our society, and how we can all join together to fight against that. Next Saturday, by the grace of God, at 5 p.m., we will have Honorable Saygbe here to talk to us on those fronts. Until then, we see you. Bye-bye.